morning, everybody. This is the Q&A webinar for the implementation for the new IRI by Istation, and we will get started here in just one moment. We'll wait a couple seconds here for extra people to get on, and we'll check back in. In order to do a sound check for everybody, if you would just raise your hand so we can see that the sound is working on our end. Good morning, everybody. This is Heidi Arate with the Assessment and Accountability Department here at the State Department of Education. And I have Paul Kleinert here. He is assisting me with the webinar. So we are going to get started. We also have Jamie Herp and Suzanne O'Connor on the line from Istation in case there's any technical questions that I'm not able to answer. So first, I wanted to start off by talking about the purpose of today's webinar. And the purpose is to support the implementation of the new IRI and answer current questions that you have in supporting testing students and training your staff. After the webinar, we will post the Q&A recording on our website and post a link to Edmodo. If you have any questions after the webinar is finished, you're welcome to email me or join our next webinar on August 28th. So please use the question box to type your questions so that we can keep track of everybody's questions.
Don't use the chat box, please.
Okay, before we get started on a couple of the questions, I just wanted to let everybody know that we have created some closed caption videos for staff. These are on the Idaho Istation landing page, and you can see them there. I will make this available right after the webinar is over, but the overview, Istation and Idaho, the Idaho getting started with Istation, and the Idaho Istation technology information is now closed captioned. I've included the implementation plan just to help remind everybody that there is a district implementation team that is responsible for rolling out the new IRI. This is train the trainer model, which I know is not always the easiest, but please bear with us while we're trying to get the training for everybody in all of the 170 districts. So in June, we had training with the district implementation coordinator, the implementation specialist, and the teacher training coordinator. And we discussed how to train the teachers for the upcoming IRI. That's what you should be doing around now. I just wanted to point out that the fall training participants, the recommendation from the State Department is the district implementation coordinator and the teacher training coordinator, along with 3 additional staff. That will be at the end of September and the second week of October. I will post those dates in the 6 different regions. So if you have not received that information and you are a district implementation coordinator, please email me so I can send you those links.
We've got a hand from Suzanne O'Connor.
Yes, Suzanne? Hold on just one second. We've got a question. Oh, maybe she just raised her hand.
Oh.
Okay, perfect. Moving on here. All right. I'm addressing some of the questions that I've already received. And the first one is the different subtests. I do have this available. I am in the process of creating a parent family brochure for you so that you can give some information to the parents. And this has been requested. So I just wanted to put this on here. The different grade levels, the subtests are broken up. For kindergarten, there's listening comp, phonemic awareness, letter knowledge, and vocabulary. First grade is phonemic awareness, letter knowledge, vocabulary, alphabetic decoding, comprehension, spelling, and possibly the text fluency. And then for second and third grade, there's vocabulary, comprehension, spelling, and the connected text fluency. Remember, this is a computer adaptive assessment, so it will change with the students. It's very important that the students are the ones that are answering the question. It will go down to pre-K and all the way up past 6th grade for those questions, the range. So please make sure that if you're helping assist any student, that you're not answering the questions for the students. Also, I just wanted to touch on, I think it's really important that you break up the different subtests, especially for the younger students. So in kindergarten and first grade has the most subtests. So please break up those subtests for the kiddos so that they're not overwhelmed with all of the testing time. And it's also a recommendation to break up the subtests if needed for students with special needs. All right. So there's been a couple questions about the benchmarks, and I am going to try to explain this as clearly as possible. So the direction from the State Department was to help ensure that the schools and the districts had one set of data to look at for their students. That's not always the case because of the population, the number of students that we have. So the recommendation was to test all of your students in August or all of your students in September. And the reason behind that was so that you could look at a certain set of benchmarks. The benchmarks are different for August and September. This is a nationally normed test, and the rate increases because they assume that there is teaching and learning happening with the student. So there is a difference in the benchmark scores. So please make sure if you test your students in August, you're looking at the August benchmark scores. And if you test your students in September, you're looking at September benchmark scores. Donna, it looks like you have your hand up. Do you have a question for us? If so, will you please type it in the question box? Okay, moving on with the benchmarks. So it is not mandatory that you test all of your students. It's a recommendation for the ease of looking at data. If you test your students in different months, you're going to have to do a comparison with the different benchmarks. In spring, there is 1 month, therefore there's 1 set of benchmarks, and that's in May. So the testing window for fall is August 20th through September 28th.
We have a question. Is there a video to explain how to break up the subtest for students?
There's not a video on how to break up the subtest. However, I did provide screenshots for everybody that attended the trainings, and I would use those as to teach the children when they see the end of that screenshot that they need to give you a thumbs up or raise their hand, and so that you can go around and students will get used to when the end of the subtests are. There's a certain screenshot that takes place. At the end of the screenshots, it's a graph, and then at the end of the test, it's a sunset. If you would like me to send those to you again, just let me know, email me. All right, moving on to how to access information. This has been another question. People are wondering, how do the teachers access the ISIP modeling, and how do they take the ISIP? You're going to take that through the student icon. So you will use your teacher login information, and when you do that, the ISIP modeling piece will be a card or an icon that you will click, and you can walk your students through all the different subtests that apply for your grade level. The educator website, so you need a login for that. Obviously, you have a login, okay? If you don't have a login, then you'll need to talk to your district implementation coordinator. And with your login, you will be able to access record interventions, delivered, manage classes, the teacher tools and resources, and the webinars and videos. The videos are 4 to 5 minutes, and the webinars can really help explain. All right, I know that this is some small print. I just wanted to touch on the fact that the Special Education Department and the Assessment and Accountability Department have been working together to create a document, a guidance document for people so that they understand what is allowable and what the guidance is for students with special needs. I just wanted to touch on this briefly. I do have this document, which I'm going to include when I send out the information. I just want to remind you that the embedded features, verbal and visual cues, and review of directions take place while the student is taking the assessment. They can repeat the question. They can also pause the test. It's important that students are shown this information before they ever get on to take the assessment. Teacher, if it is required for students' IEPs that there's a one-to-one, teachers can provide a one-to-one, restate the question, pause, make sure you break between subtests if necessary, and there's printed directions. There are different devices that are compatible with this assessment, and I have some of those listed here. They're also included in all of the documentation that we have used for the new IRI and special education. If you have any other questions about those, don't hesitate to contact Karen Striegel, and her information will be at the end of the webinar. Another question that's been asked is for our English language learner students, and I just wanted to make sure everybody understands the students are required to take the early literacy assessment in English. However, instructions are available in Spanish. And just as a side note, there are parent letters available under the teacher resources that are both in English and Spanish. The Lexile student measure, I just wanted to make sure that I pointed that out again. A couple people have asked about that. You will find that on your student summary handout, and it's in the upper right-hand corner. The Idaho Istation landing page, hopefully you guys have been to this page. This is where there will be some intro videos, getting started, FAQ, and how to access some of the information for Idaho. So that information is provided here. This is what the layout looks like. The next section is about test improprieties. So this was really a topic during training where if a student, for whatever reason, during the testing window, they were listening to Johnny's headset or the wrong EDUID, we have set up the protocol for what needs to take place. So that would be considered a test impropriety, and you will log it in the test incident log. And I've created some slides so that I can walk you through exactly where to find this application on the State Department website. It might not be something that you are used to, so bear with me here. You're going to go to the State Department website at sde.idaho.gov, and you're going to go to the Assessment and Accountability button. It's the purple button right in the middle usually. On the very first page, there's a resource center. If you're unaware of what's in our resource center, I would highly recommend that you check into it. On the resource page, there is, if you scroll down, there is a set of portals, and these are all the applications that we have for the Assessment and Accountability Department. The test incident log is the last card that you'll use. You will click there and it'll say, welcome to the test incident log. You will need to make sure that you log in with your username and password that's provided to access anything for the State Department. And I just wanted to point out there's additional resources right here that will tell you the test incident log manual and the confidentiality agreement are provided right here. So you're going to log in. This is what this looks like. You're going to select an organization, your school, district, and once you've logged in, it will give you, there's part of my name, it'll give you the school year, additional resources, select your district, and usually home. So you are going to, for the additional resources, like I said, you can find the test incident log manual. To log a test incident, you are going to select a district, your district, with a drop-down menu and select, and then you will log from there what the incident was. I will view those, and then as soon as I view those, I will send you correspondence, and then I will contact Istation, and I will have you restart that student's test. I will give you instructions on how to do this. Remember, the test incident log and the improprieties is for extreme cases. This is not for Johnny because he was tired. If that's the case, please wait and test at a later date. This is for those instances where students have not listened to their test that's appropriate for them for whatever reason. So just a friendly reminder. I've included on here the incident guide, the integrity guide, and the assessment confidentiality agreement, which I did include that in the email that I sent you. And this is what it looks like. But these other test incident logs and how to access the information is here under the resources. Please fill out the test incident log. I already said this, but after hearing back from us, the district can retest the students using the on-demand feature. We will reach out to Istation to void the first test. And remember, this is only necessary during the fall and spring state testing windows. If this happens during the rest of the year in your progress monitoring, you yourself can go in and give an on-demand assessment. I'm going to stop for a second and see if we have any questions that I haven't answered so far.
There's one question. Are the embedded features available for all, or do they need to be enabled?
So the embedded features are for all, so the verbal and visual cues that are taking place with the assessment, and the review of directions is on the assessment, so that is for all students. If there is an opportunity, a way for the timing, because I know that that is a part of many students' IEPs, the timing portion can be switched off. The guidance that we have received to this point is, during the testing windows, the first test that the student takes, please do not turn off the timing for the student, because we need to have that comparison of the peers. After that, if you would like to turn off the timing and use it as an accommodation for a student that is requiring that on their IEP, then you can do that and while they're progress monitoring. Just remember to make sure that the timing is turned on during the testing windows.
We have another question. Do we use stop or pause to return to a test the next day?
You can use either one. Stop is obviously going to stop the test right where it is. Pause, it will default after 20 minutes. It will automatically stop. But make sure that you're stopping at the end of the subtest, or a student will have to retake that, the beginning of that subtest. Jamie and Suzanne, if you guys have any comments, would you type them in the question box so that we can address them? Or anything that you feel like I need to clarify? Or that I just didn't say the right thing?
They're both giving positive feedback.
Oh, well, great. So we have just a couple more slides, and this is just about resources and how we can help assist you during this time. We have a new Edmodo information title. It's called the Idaho State Department of Education Assessment and Accountability Networking Group. It's for the 2018-19. We have a new group code, G37UN3. Please put that code in there. We also created small groups for each one of the assessments so that they can be focused on the assessment that people are specializing in. So our small group name is the new IRI, the ISIP-ER by Istation. So if you have any questions there, those questions, I get a notification right away, and we can all help troubleshoot some of the issues that we may be having. I wanted to remind everybody too about the Padlet link. This is all of the training documents. It's Istation Overview Idaho, and that information there is listed.
We got a couple more. What student information needs to be uploaded into Istation? For example, race, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, etc.
There is a file that you can download that will tell you what is needed for the Istation. It's under, I'm trying to think exactly where it is. It's under the teacher's site. If you look there, it will talk to you about the file and the different fields that are needed for uploading students. It's also in a video, and that's located under the Help Center. So there are particular fields that are needed. So please download that file template and use that to upload to Istation. I will include, after this, I will include exactly how to get to that information.
When did you send the security agreements and to whom? I'm not seeing that anywhere in my email.
The security agreement came with the book that I sent you with all of the training documents, after training email that I sent to all the district implementation coordinators, and actually should have been received by all the participants that were there or that were signed up. So if you did not receive that, please just email me at harate@sde.idaho.gov, and I can get that information to you. So just a shout out to stay up to date with assessment. As you know, assessment and accountability is constantly changing, not to make your life harder, but just to make it fun. So the monthly assessment webinar is going to start taking place. We'll begin in September. It's going to be the second Wednesday of the month. And just a reminder that we have on the first and third Wednesday, we have a newsletter that is sent out. So please subscribe to the newsletter so that you get the most up-to-date information. And this goes along with the accountability portion too, which I know there's been a lot of different changes with the accountability. Here is our contact information. Myself, Dr. Striegel, who oversees and is working with me with the special education portion, the accommodations that are needed for the IRI. We are in the process of working on a hearing and visually impaired accommodated form, and we will let you know when that is completed. It's still in progress. There's also the Istation contact. If there's anything technical, Istation's your man, okay? So the phone number there is 866-883-7323, press 2. There's email support. They do have a chat box as well. So if there's anything technical, please contact them. If you feel like it's something that I should know in addition, I would be happy to hear those and look at those emails just so I'm kept abreast on the information. But as far as the technical information, Istation's the ones to contact.
Are there any SDE additions coming to the Istation TAM?
Yes, the test administration manual is being vetted right now. It's in the hands of Carlin Laraway, the director, and she's looking through all of the information. I'm ready to send it out. So as soon as I get the okay, then I will be including that in the email to all of you as well.
This one's easy. I may have missed this, but the PowerPoint is being sent out, correct?
Yes. Yes, I'll be sending it to all the participants as well as posting it on the website and posting it on Edmodo.
Please remind me how to register our domain with Istation.
That is a little bit more of a complicated question where I can reach out to you and give you some more information and walk you through the steps, but I would recommend you actually contact Istation support for that information. Or I can walk you through when I'm completed here. Just send me an email.
Where do we need to go to register our district on the test incident log application?
Your district is already uploaded into all the districts, so the test incident log is a drop down, so you're going to find your district and then follow the steps and the information necessary. If you have more questions after this, the next webinar is on August 28th from 2 to 3. We'll be recording that one as well. You're welcome to join. And like always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know your comments, cares, concerns. I look forward to hearing from all of you, and I hope that you have a very successful year. We'll wait here for just a couple of minutes to make sure that there's no other questions. I want to thank Jamie and Suzanne for being on the call here today, just to make sure that kept me on my toes and I said everything correctly. And of course, Paul for helping assist me. This is really a two-person job, and he came in at the last minute, so I appreciate that. Thank you to all of you. I hope you have a wonderful year.
We have one more question. Our district isn't on the drop-down menu. Do we need to add it?
Yes, if your district's not on the drop-down menu for the test incident log, please email me so that I can make sure I get that information to IT. Is that what they're talking about? Yeah.
Please direct me to the document that shows the fields we need to upload into Istation.
I'll be sending out the information on how to access that information. You can find that information under the Health Center. There is a video on exactly what to upload, and there's also a file example of what tells you what information to upload. We'll just wait a couple more minutes just to make sure. All right, it looks like this is the conclusion to our Q&A.
Oh, I got one.
Oh, psych.
If we use the full test more than once in a month for progress monitoring, does the first test get deleted?
No. The very first test that the students take, especially during the testing windows for the state, are the scores that we are capturing. None of the tests get deleted. It's a computer adaptive assessment, so it will continually change to how the student is answering the question. So no tests are deleted. Did that answer your question, or do I need some more clarifying information?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you being here, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you.